Hi everyone, it's Cindy, and I thought I would just have a little kind of what's on my desk, sort of slow craft, kind of let's get some things done video for you this morning. I am filming this on Monday morning. It is family day today, and I do have a plan for the day to get my family outside and do some sledding and maybe do a little bit of snow building and a little nature observing. As my daughter, for her beavers group that she's a part of, she has to do some things for her winter skills 2 badge, so I think we'll do some of that today. So sometimes when I'm just hanging out with my son, we paint together, and usually I paint we paint with watercolors, and I paint like little bits of things that I can use in journals. So I was painting these splattery, I'm sorry if you can hear them running around upstairs, they're quite hyper this morning. I was painting splattery little swatches, and they make a nice bit of collage fodder. So now I'm just cutting them out so that I can put them in my collage fodder book. I also have some flowers that I need to cut. I also wanted to share with you, and I will link her in the description below, I recently came across a lovely new YouTube channel called Jerry Landers of Hop Along Hollow, and I am absolutely in love with her. Her style, her channel, her art. She's a felter, she's a storyteller. She does these lovely sort of videos where she makes tea and talks about an author, and yeah, it's very nice. It's also making me think a little bit about getting back into a series that I used to do here on YouTube called Immersed, and I think I only got to like 2 videos, but then there were a lot more work and I didn't really have time. Like every now and then I get into something and have an idea and I start to execute on it, but then, you know, life changes things up and you just have to kind of roll with what's happened. But it doesn't mean that, you know, you can't go back to it. Like I used to be the kind of person who felt like I did this thing and then I kind of blew it and I can't, you know, pick it back up because nobody will remember what it was about. But ultimately, what does it matter, right? Like if you enjoy doing it, do it. And you can always explain a little bit, like I'm doing now at the beginning of, you know, your project, your video, whatever it is that you're working on. So it's worthwhile to just not feel like you've lost an opportunity, but just pick it back up when the time is right. I also have a new journal project that I will show you today that I'm getting started on. One that I'm pretty excited about, and I might try to take a few steps to get things for the cover finished today. I also have a new plan I'm working on, a new digital collection that's going to be fun, but I've got a lot to do with that still. Lots of scanning to do of antique documents and such that will be layers of this kit. Okay, so now we can cut out these. So hopefully what you're seeing in these flowers is that, you know, they were painted pretty quickly with low quality kids watercolor paints, like and they were, you know, hastily dried by being tossed on top of a shelf while I was busy doing other things. But like, they're really great. So if you ever question, you know, your artistic skill, just put some paint on paper, especially if it's watercolor and you're going to get something that's just pleasing. You know, that's just pleasing. It's great. So just play with watercolors because they are very worthwhile. the way the colors kind of bleed together always gives you such a really beautiful result, like the purples and the yellows in this. It's a very simple and, you know, quite abstract shape, but with some very small steps, this could become so much more interesting. You could stitch in the middle, give it a little bend, you know, like, and then it becomes a really beautiful violet. And I was just spattering and playing with paint to add some extra colors. These would also be nice backgrounds if that's what you so choose to do with them. So we've had a nice big snow, and then today it's not snowing, so the roads are cleaned up and it's safe to drive around and not feel like it's an ice rink or anything. I'm also thinking tonight of taking my daughter to go skating at one of our ice rink, our paths that we have that go through like a whole track. Weekend feels like it's flown by, but I've gotten a few things done. I've got some videos filmed for the week, which is good. And I have, I spun a yarn yesterday that I can share with you. I can show it to you. Once I get this clipping away done here. So I was telling, right now I'm baking, I spent the morning baking 3 loaves of banana chocolate chip bread with maraschino cherries on top, and the grenadine that they sit in just kind of spread over the top of the loaf makes a really nice banana bread. So I'm baking those right now. They're in the oven, and I'm going to take one over to my neighbors this morning to basically just say thank you for being a good neighbor, because we had if you're on my Patreon, you would have heard me telling the complex tale of how our neighbors accidentally backed their truck into my front yard and knocked my little free library over, which is cemented in the ground on a 4x4. Yeah, it was very upsetting and stressful, and frustrating for many reasons. But we had a conversation in the morning, and my neighbor spent the entire day making it right. He is a concrete worker, so he was able to dig a new hole even in the frozen ground. I was like, you can probably wait till spring when it thaws to do this, but he was very, I think, embarrassed and wanted to make it right. And I get that. I think I'd probably do the same thing, to be honest. I'd feel so stressed because it's like a community thing, and it's like you're gonna see it every day. It's right in the front of the house, and everybody uses it. So I think he felt very yucky, and I didn't even have to really get upset with him because I think he was already like, oh no. So anyways, that got done. He fixed it, and I just want to take over a nice loaf of bread to say, we're neighbors, and thank you for being a good neighbor. I appreciate, you not just being one of those people who says sorry and then walks away and actually made it right. Because I was pretty frustrated. These things can weigh on me a little more than they should. I think it's just kind of some days the world feels very hard to be in for me. Where can I put these? Oh, here we go. I've got an enormous book up here that I'm reaching into to put these away. Okay, let me show you my my journal project that is going to be getting started next here. Okay, so it all started with this book, Fancy Pantry, which I love. It's a hilarious like name for a book. This little canister on the front's so cute, but really I love the pattern of the book. So it's like this, you know, kind of ziggy-zaggy pattern. And it's a really nice book. It's a bigger book, so this will be a big journal. It is, well, I can't tell you centimeters. Most of you will be like, what is she saying? 10.5 by 7.25. So it's quite a large book. When you open it, it's got sort of the reverse in that beautiful pattern. So I want to try to keep these pages to put back on here as the end papers. It's by Helen Whitty, and it's illustrated by Pierre Latan. This book is from... It's not particularly old, I don't think. It's 1986. So throughout it, it's got these kind of nice pages. It's mostly text, and there's just these teeny little illustrations of food, like this little lemon here. But yeah, it's just a recipe book for your pantry. You know, making different kinds of nice, like... preserves. And I probably should go through it and add a few of these to my recipes. So maybe we'll just start by separating the book out of the cover. Gotta give it the tear here. Ooh, this one might be too new and gluey. Ooh, yeah, it's really strong. So even I have to cut them out sometimes. Because it's a little tough. We'll just go in there and cut that though. There we go. Almost. See, I really prefer tearing them out rather than cutting them out. I find it like unnecessarily stressful cutting books apart. I like to just tear them. Okay, there we go. Alright. Can I tear the other side? Ugh. This was glued with Herculean glue. My goodness. Okay, there we go. She's out. She's free. Alright, so then, tear this away. Let's get rid of all the... See if I can rescue any of the book spine stuff that I like to get out of books here. This. That's what we want. The other side. Okay, get this side up. Alright, that's all good. And we'll get rid of all the little bits that want to come up. Okay. So this, I'll keep this little bit here. Keep. This is collage fodder for me. I really quite enjoy it. So it's going to go in my little, I have a little basket at the back of my desk I put those things into. So now we have the cover all good. So then I need to save this. Oh, and I think there may only be one of them. Oh, that's too bad. Oh, c'est la vie, it's okay. I will use it for something else. I think that's all I'm really going to need out of the book itself. So I will keep this book though because I want to go through it because I do enjoy good preserves. So that's that. Now, when we think about what will happen with the cover, I came across one of my viewers, or yeah, I think one of my viewers sent me toward Meggie Retro Boutique on Etsy, and they have some really great paper dolls. And when I saw this one, I was like, yes, fancy Pantry. So this is like a grandmother, and it's a paper doll. Her body is this cabinet with these drawers, and these are her hands and legs and feet and all those things, right? So I'm going to put this on a heavyweight cardstock, and then I'm going to cut it out and construct it. And it's going to go on the cover of the book. So it got me to thinking about like the surrealist aspect of a pantry, right? So like fancy pantry can become fantasy pantry, kind of. So that's where my brain is going with that. And I have to think about what that means. Probably do some illustrating to kind of like get my plan happening. Then I also picked up this stuff. So these are Minte Papers Nana's Kitchen collection. So I got both sizes of it, and it's really cool paper. So this will be for creating the ephemera, I think, this paper, and the other will be for creating like the papers, the pages. Both have cutouts, little cabinets, all sorts of fun things. So I'm going to be well armed walking into this project. I'm going to have some good things going here. And then the paper collection itself, I can show you because I'm going to open it. I don't need to keep this anymore. We're going to be using this paper. It's really pretty. This is the 12 by 12. So the 12 by 12, what I like about it, their cover page, they use that for the cutouts. And if you know Minte Papers, they're really nice and thick, and the cutouts are beautiful. Like, they're just gorgeous. So the paper is so nice. The back side's nice too. And I think you get 2 of each. So I'm going to set aside one for, in the back side of that one. So pretty. Recipes. So I'll set one of each of these aside because, yeah, I won't be putting more than one in. Are they the same? No, they're not the same. I'm sorry. They're kind of similar though. They're like an opposite practically. So this is like the same kind of, oh no, I guess it's a little different. It just got me because the cake stand is the same, but maybe she's moved the cake to the other side of the kitchen. There's similarities, but they're not the same. Okay. I was thinking it was a smaller collection and they did 2 of each, but they didn't. So there's cutlery. I love the plates. And on back, the index cards, florals, really nice petit fleur, little journal cards, 2-sided. Another of this image. Now, is this one, I think these do repeat. I seem to remember. Like in Minte, don't you get 2 of each paper? Yes, okay. So now we're repeating, I think, right? Because this is the same. My brain. Okay, yeah, so that's the same. That's the same. That's the same. Yeah, so you get 2 of each of the papers. Okay, so I'm going to set aside like one of the collections probably for another project, unless I feel like I'm going to make tags or something out of it, but I don't know. We'll see when we get there. So this I need for this project. These I will set aside. Down here, over here for now. Then maybe I could cut the paper to size today. That would be something I could do. So let's go ahead, and also if I can find a good piece of thick cardstock here. Right here, this is good. This is the weight that I want. Oh, this is also a great color for this book. So what I want to do with this, I'll do this first, is I'm going to cut out, just kind of cut this down a little bit. And then I'm going to glue it down with art glitter glue so we get a nice good hold. My dog is whining because my family's eating breakfast and he was a bad boy this morning, so he's been put in his crate. He's still learning about, you know, the table is not a snack grabbing shelf, so he has to kind of be spoken to, and then get a little time out, because dogs don't have a very long frame of reference for what's going on, right? So you don't gain anything by like punishing a dog, by like, you know, first of all, you don't gain anything by having strong emotions with a dog, because they don't know what you're talking about. But also prolonged, like, you know, lock up, like if you're like, oh, the dog was bad, I'm going to lock him up for an hour, like they don't learn a single thing from that, because they can't associate, right? So he gets these little timeouts, like he gets specifically spoken to right away, little timeout, and then he realizes like, oh, I got removed from the situation, maybe I won't do this anymore. And then you see him, like he's already learned a lot about this, like from this kind of like hesitation training, like it's teaching him hesitation, like if he's just done something, these little short training sessions. It's the same as like teaching a dog, like, you know, any commands, right? Like they're short and quick and you don't overwhelm. So it is making a difference. We've noticed that like he's getting a little better with those things. So this, I think we can cut to, well, 6.5. I won't have to cut it from side to side at all, which is great. Then here, I would say probably 10, not quite 10 1/4, like 10 1/8 is what this needs to be. So we don't lose a lot of the paper, which is great. So let's get this and put it down. Get rid of the branding strip here. And I think where I want to trim this from is actually from the top. Maybe like a tiny bit from the bottom. Here we go, cut that. Then from the top I'll do the other cut. Oh, hold on. We have a little one. Okay, there we go. Sorry, little people like to visit me here. It happens. Okay, so I said, what did I say? 10 1/8. Gotta double check. Okay. Whoops. No, that was the, yeah, top to bottom. That's what I'm trying to measure. Okay. See, I get so sidetracked when kids interrupt me. Oh my goodness. It's probably the number one thing about parenting that I struggle with, is like having to reset, you know, because like kids you have to operate on their schedule, right? Like you can't do anything but that. Okay, so 10 1/8. I will lose the top of the cabinet, but that will be amazing pockets. Amazing. So I'm not even sad about that. I am going to just, one thing that drives me a little kooky is the little tiny corner that often my cutter misses because it's just over like the 12 mark. So let's give this a fold and see. Somehow this feels big to me. I don't know why. Let me just put it in the book. It feels too big. I don't know. Maybe not. No, it's fine. Okay. I'm just not used to dealing with such big papers lately. I've been making smaller journals. I'm going to take a 1-second break here. I'm going to move this out of the way, and I want to show you something. So, while my son was visiting, I got up to grab this to see if it's dry, and it is. So, here is the yarn that I spun yesterday. Look at this beauty. Isn't it wonderful? It's got Swarovski crystals in it, and they are iridescent like amber and violet. These are hand-spun Wensleydale locks that I dyed in this beautiful rusty tone, and this is iron-dyed merino tencel, and it is the most beautiful shade of shimmery, like gray with, you know, like a cream background and hints of rust in it. And then these white bits here, they're not really white, but they're kind of a bunch of things. They are hemp and cashmere from one of my friends who has bunnies and goats. And so yeah, I've got all sorts of goodies in this yarn. It's so pretty, and it's a humongous skein of yarn. It's like, I don't know, it's probably like over 120 yards. So it's a bulky weight. It has been plied with a metallic and fine wool boucle. So yeah, it's very luxurious. It will be heading to my Etsy shop soon. It's just got a little bit more drying to do. I took it out of the Eucalyptus last night, and it's also got some nice glittery Angelina gold. So yeah, let's just put it in a little skein here. Twist, twist, twist. Loop it back on itself and pull it on through. That is how you create a skein of yarn. And I'm really happy with this one. It's so pretty. I actually got to take some nice time spinning yesterday, and it's nice to just squish it and hold it in your hand. But there you can see like the fine rust color and iron color in the merino tencel. Yeah. Okay. Let's get back to work. All right. This. Whoops. 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 Okay. Let's put that in here. I'll just set these over to my right along with the scrappy bits. So that goes over here. Okay. Okay, branding strip first. Actually, yeah, branding strip first. Okay, then let's fold and then we'll cut. I want to fold this one this way, I think. Good. And then we need 10 1/4. Or no, 1/8. Perfect. And I might do some drawing and doodling for this book later today and just kind of do a bit of concept. If time allows. Just going to find some fun fabric and lace that will work with this. I know I have some beautiful avocado dyed lace that will really work nicely with this. And a little brown doily that I have. I also have lots of really nice, like, what are they called? Recipe books, like old weathered recipe books that are all handwritten, and I can use them as nice backgrounds. Probably just need to create some focal points. And then I need to cut these journal cards out. And I think I'll just cut the rest with scissors. And actually, I wonder, would I want to keep any of these as belly bands, maybe? Because 2 together would be a nice belly band. No, I'll cut them as journal cards, because then I can use them as either a journal card or as a pocket or as a focal point, etc., etc. It's just a smaller, more workable piece of paper. So, and I need to trim this one a little bit. This guillotine is not as exact as I would like it to be. I probably should go back to my sliding paper cutter. I just like this guillotine though, because it just cuts really well. Like, it cuts everything down fast. excited to get outside today. I feel like I haven't been getting out enough lately because of sicky poo kids, and my husband has not been feeling so well either. I'm the only one, I mean, knock on wood, that did not get the stomach virus, because I get kind of like, I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit of a germaphobe. I don't think I am. I'm just careful because, like, I think we know, you know, how to prevent getting sick. So those are the things that I use around my house. Like when other people are sick, I hand wash the kids so much. I wear a mask when someone else is sick or when I'm sick in the house when I'm around them. I try to keep the kids separate when one of them is sick and the other isn't. And like typically my tactics work pretty well. So, but we had a situation with the stomach virus that I think nobody was protected from, because the thing about a toddler is that they have no idea, and this was my son's very first time having a stomach bug. He's never had anything like it before, so he didn't exactly know what it meant to have nausea, right, and to deal with nausea. So yeah, that's what happens. Okay, this one is going to be a little complicated because I like that window, but I also don't want to prematurely cut this. So if I went to the 10 1/8, oh, actually, I get to keep a good amount of that. I could still use it for something. So yeah, I'll keep the window, and we'll just cut the planter down. That's fine. And then I'll have this nice little bit here I can do something with. And also there are those planters and things in the Fussy cut. So like if I wanted to, say, make a pocket and have that whole planter, I could use one of the Fussy cuts because they've got, you know, 1, 2 on here. So I've got lots of goodies. I have to Fussy cut those out. I like Minte papers. They're really pretty. I also like their little books that they make. Excuse me, a little gravelly throat today. They're little like Fussy cut books. They call them like basics book, I think. And they've got flowers and all sorts of nice things to cut out. So this one, I do like that shelf at the top. So I don't want to lose the shelf. So I think, again, I will cut from the bottom. The 10 1/8. It's so hard to like cut paper like apart when you're like, oh, it's too pretty, I gotta keep it together, but you can't. Okay, so I think that's all the big pieces. So let's take a look here. Very, very cute. Yeah, I like that. And I'm probably going to do 5 signatures in here because I'm going to keep the spine as is. So that's good because we'll have one piece of this paper for each signature. And then this, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Now, where is here she is, my gal here. I'm also thinking I'm probably going to emboss her. I think. So we'll start maybe by just, we'll cut her shoes out. And there's like a tiny little pinhole where you can poke your hole to add a brad or what have you. I haven't decided yet how I'm going to put her together. Probably I will use brads. And then I have to decide if I want her to have movement still or if I want her to be stuck down in place. I am so excited for a journal that I finished. I'm going to release this week, but I have to wait on some supplies that I'm waiting for. And I think they're not going to get here until Thursday, so. But maybe I can do a flip through Friday that's the case. We'll see. So this is nice and well glued. I'm not feeling like any lifting, which is good. That's why I chose to use the art glitter glue, so there'd be no stress trying to get these cut out. So it's been a nice sunny long weekend, which is good. Did my grocery shopping yesterday. I saw there was a man and a dog who were unhoused that were outside of the grocery store, and I thought I would sort of see, you know, kind of like how the dog looked and how he looked, and maybe pick them up a little something. So I did that on the way to the store, and he was really nice, and so was his dog. And I made, as I was checking out, I was saying like somebody had walked up to the dog, and they were out of my vision. They were sitting so close to the store, they were under the window, I couldn't see them. So like all of a sudden I heard the dog bark, and I just kind of looked out the window, like I wandered over toward the window to look down and see. And I said, oh, okay, he's still there. I thought at first the dog was alone or something because he was barking, but it was because somebody approached them and tried to like give the dog a cheese, like a cheesy or something. And so the cashier said to me, she's like, oh yeah, you know, he's actually nice. I mean, some of them I don't advocate for, but he's really nice. And I said to her, well, I get where you're coming from, but I think you got to remember everybody has their own story, and we have to remember that poverty is not because we can't feed the poor. It's because we can't satisfy the rich. So let's not like blame people who are in these situations, you know, like, but I think, you know, the hard thing for most people is this idea, like, especially if addiction's involved, that people expect a handout or something. Like there's this weird, I don't know, I think honestly it was maybe the boomer generation were fed so much of this, I think, post-war, right? About like bootstraps being pulled up and working so hard, and like, and then I think the millennial generation have said like, you know, it's not about having to work so hard. Like, why is that what you value? And I honestly, as an in-betweener, I feel like I understand the perspective of having the pride that, you know, you came from something and you accomplished something, definitely. And you made your parents proud of you. And I get that. But like, I think for me, when I look at my own kids, I'm already proud of them. They don't have to really do much of anything for me to be proud of them. And it's mainly because of who they are as people and how I feel like my impact on them as a parent, as someone who's trying to teach them to be nice and, you know, to take care of people and things. Like, I feel like most of what they can do has to be a reflection of me, and not always, you know, there's certain things like neurology and other influences in your kids' lives that can change things in ways that you don't anticipate. But I think, I don't know, I really hope this idea that we all have to work so darn hard during this, you know, life we have to just get anywhere. I really do hope it goes away, because, you know, I see these like weird social media things all the time, like, you know, where it's usually some man who has some job working somewhere like an oil rig or a coal mine, or, you know, and he's like bragging about having worked like a 85-hour week. And I'm thinking, like, is that a brag? Because I wouldn't be bragging if I was doing that. Like, I'd be trying to find a new job personally. Like, that's not really a job I'd be proud of, because, you know, like, you're not working smarter, you're working harder. And, you know, it's kind of things like aren't really what I want my kids doing. I know I didn't bring kids into this world to see them slave their lives away to make rich, people like oil billionaires or tech gurus rich. That's not why I had kids. And I'm pretty sure that's not why our parents had us either. But, capitalism is a thing that just is so pervasive in society. It's so interconnected with so many things that we do in our daily lives. It comes down to even, simplicity of crafting. That's why I always find it interesting where people say, keep your politics out of crafting. And there's a lot to think about there, and I get wanting to feel relaxed and wanting to just separate yourself from politics. But I think people also need to start asking themselves, do I know what politics are? Because, things like people being, hurt and hungry and, wars and things, it's not really politics when you think about it. It's just day-to-day truths, and if you ignore them, that's your it's your privilege, and it's also kind of telling about who you care about and who you'd rather not even spend time thinking about. And I've always heard this thing you can ignore politics, but be sure politics will never ignore you. And I think that's very true, especially at the municipal level. If you aren't getting involved in voting and learning about your candidates, but then, things that bother you start to happen, like a green space being cut down for a condo, or, a complete lack of services for people. That happens when you're just, not really considering all the things. And I think that I know that art has always been political, and I think that craftivism has always been a thing. And I think it's a good thing, because I think that in everything we should be trying to do better by the planet and the people on the planet, right? Because we're all connected. So these holes are here. I'm trying to understand what goes where. Okay. I think the puffy sleeves go like this. Or wait, no, these are the, I might have to look at the picture of this. There's a whole picture. I just printed the one page. Yeah, because these, I think, maybe are they kind of go on top of her legs like that. Because there's little dots to guide you. It's really not that hard to put together. I'm just making it look that way. Okay, this, I think maybe here and here, or here and here. I think it maybe does go that way, and the poofiness of the sleeve goes at the bottom. Actually, no, that doesn't really make sense. What if I look here? So the hand goes here. So I think, yeah, the puffy sleeve does go up there, definitely. Yep, so that would be like there, and that would be there. Oh yeah, that makes a lot more sense. And I think once it's put together, it's going to be a lot easier to kind of contemplate what this whole thing will look like and how it needs to go on my cover. But that's the essence of her. Oh, I love it. Actually love it. And what I'm thinking is, in terms of height, I think I want her head like here, like I want it to go on top of the pantry. Or not the pantry, the cabinet maybe. I might have to print her a little smaller, but I don't know. I might not. It might just fit. So if I put that there, the hole would be, where's the hole in this one? Right there. So that would go like that. Then I think she'll just fit. And I can bring that up as high as I want, really. That there and that there. Whoops. And if I have the option, I just remembered, she's going to be a paper doll. I can move her around. So yeah, and I might have her look like she's kind of flying. So I'm going to emboss her and I'm going to put her together. And then I'm also going to cut out these fussy cuts, and then I'll have a little bit more of the project ready to kind of go to the next step. So I think I'll make that my video for today. And I hope you're well, and I hope you're warm, and I hope you're getting some sunshine, because there's actually sunshine here. I hope you have some too. And I will talk to you all very soon in my next video. Bye for now.